This month, Life Insurance Strategies Group is in Mexico City. And I hope you've had a chance to read the companion interview that goes with this video blog in this month's Life Insurance Strategies Group newsletter. And in that interview, we interviewed Grayson Dufresne, a top-tier life insurance producer who's an American but has been working and living in London for the majority of his life. And one of the points that Grayson drives home is that we are seeing more and more clients in the high net worth space who are seeking life insurance who might be subject to taxation in one country, but live in another that then places their taxation on that person. So a really common example of this is when we have an American, right? Americans are taxed worldwide. And if we have an American living in the UK, well, now we've got that American subject to two tax systems, the United States and the United Kingdom. So what does that mean for life insurance coverage? And we've talked in the past about making sure you have a policy that if you're going to maybe move to another country later, that maybe that's compliant also in that country. This is a little similar to that, but also a little dissimilar. So if we take the United Kingdom example for a moment, if we have somebody living in the United Kingdom who's a US person, well, they've got to be concerned about US tax compliance. So we know about non-MEX, MEX, even frozen cash value. Now in the UK though, a US life insurance policy is going to cause some problems. That inside buildup is probably too much under the UK tax system. So the UK tax system looks at life insurance and we're probably not going to allow that inside buildup to escape full taxation. So what does that mean? If you want to have a dual compliant product in both the United Kingdom and the US, we're looking at a form of frozen cash value, where the cash value doesn't increase a whole heck of a lot, at least not to above the amount that it would be taxed in the United Kingdom. And with that, and so that leads, you're saying, well, what about the growth I'm leaving on the table there, right? If a dollar was supposed to increase to $2 in the policy, but I can only increase it to $1.50, otherwise I'd be taxed. I don't want to give up that 50 cents. Well, that 50 cents would then be added to the death benefit as income tax-free death benefit that would go to heirs, right? So in fact, you're kind of supercharging the policy. Now, we've talked about the United Kingdom. In the past, we've talked quite a bit about Canada. We've got Canadians, tax residents of Canada, who might be in the US wanting to buy US life insurance products. And here, we have to understand, remember in Canada, they've gotten rid of a lot of the tax blocking structures that we still have in the US. So we have offshore corporate tax blockers, we have irrevocable life insurance trusts. We don't have that in Canada. So sometimes people think, oh, I'm gonna set up a US trust and own my US policy as a Canadian tax resident and escape taxation. Well, no, in Canada, they'll look right through that trust. So remember, another thing that we talked about was Canadians that buy, tax resident Canadians that buy US policies are often Canadian tax compliant. However, you need to have those policies checked every year and have some kind of document, have an actuary, some kind of chartered financial analyst sign off that US policy is compliant under Canadian tax law to have that be compliant in Canada. Otherwise, if you don't have that letter, there's a good chance that even though it was compliant, it might not be considered compliant under Canadian law. So again, lots of things to think about. That was two examples, the UK and Canada. There's many other dual compliant systems where you have to really think about what kind of life insurance product I should be buying. Now remember, at Life Insurance Strategies Group, we don't sell products, but we help our affluent individual and our institutional clients make decisions involving complex life insurance transactions. And if we can help you, reach out to us at lifeinsurancestrategiesgroup.com.